Continue our discussion on accumulation or Xi points. Today we discuss spleen 8, the earth pivot. Spleen 8 is located 3 chun distal to the junction of the shaft and the medial condyle of the tibia, near spleen 9, and at the posterior border of the medial crest of the tibia. So how to find spleen 8? First, we measure one hand breadth directly inferior to the medial condyle of the tibia. So this is where spleen 9 is. So spleen 8 is located 3 chun distal to spleen 9 on the posterior border of the medial crest of the tibia, on a line connecting spleen 9 and the highest prominence of the medial malleolus. Here we have an illustration on where the spleen 8 and spleen 9 are located. So needling spleen 8 is done vertically 1 to 1.5 chun in depth. For its actions and indications, spleen 8 regulates the uterus and the blood, and it also regulates the spleen and eliminates dampness. As its special features, it's a Xi-Cleft point, and it's an important point for acute dysmenorrhea, often used in combination with Li4. Okay. Like all accumulation points, as spleen 8 removes obstruction and stops pain, particularly in acute excess patterns. It is very much used in acute cases of dysmenorrhea to stop pain. It is also used as part of a treatment strategy for chronic dysmenorrhea, when this point would be used just before the period to move Qi and invigorate blood, usually with reducing method. And other points would be used usually with reinforcing method to treat the root of the condition. Spleen 8 regulates the uterus and stops pain by invigorating blood. That is, removing stasis of blood. Like all accumulation points, this point can also stop acute bleeding, and it is used to stop excessive menstrual bleeding and bleeding from the bowel. So for summary of its functions, spleen 8 as an accumulation point treats acute pain. It is frequently used to stop menstrual pain, and it stops excessive menstrual bleeding. Spleen 8 is the Xi-Cleft point of the spleen channel. The Xi-Cleft points are where the Qi and blood, which flows relatively superficially along the channels from the gingival points, gather and plunge more deeply. The Xi-Cleft points in general are indicated in the treatment of acute conditions and pain, while the Xi-Cleft point of the yin channel have an additional action of treating disorders of blood. The spleen controls blood, and its channel enters the lower abdomen, joining with the consumption vessel at REN 3 and REN 4. Spleen 8 has a specific and important action on resolving blood stasis in the uterus and lower abdomen, being indicated in the treatment of dysmenorrhea, irregular menstruation, and abdominal masses in women due to either blood stasis or Qi stagnation. A specific indication for this point, mentioned in the illustrated classic of acupuncture points on the bronze man, is a hot flowing sensation spreading down the inner thigh to the knee when pressure is applied to the abdominal masses in women. As the Xi-Cleft point, spleen 8 is specially suited to treating acute conditions, and it is often combined with Li4 in the treatment of acute dysmenorrhea, both points being strongly reduced, often with the addition of electroacupuncture. Spleen 8 has a secondary action of harmonizing the spleen and resolving damp, being indicated in the treatment of abdominal distension, poor appetite, difficult urination, edema, and diarrhea, especially when these symptoms accompany disorders of menstruation. The affinity of spleen 8 for disorders of the lower abdomen is emphasized in various classics. The investigation into points along the channels by Yan Zhenxi of the Ming Dynasty goes as far as to say there is no disorder of the lower region that cannot be treated with spleen 8. Well, according to the Ode to Elucidate Mysteries, spleen 8 dominates the lower region, while spleen 21 dominates the upper region and stomach 25 the middle region. In the correspondence system of early Chinese thought, the upper region is heaven, the middle region is man, and the lower region is earth. Hence the name of this point, the earth pivot. Thank you for your attention.